Welcome to Star Wars Action News, helping Star Wars collectors collect better.
Let's talk Star Wars Celebration. And once Celebration starts on Thursday, every night is so crowded with so much to do, including for Marjorie and myself, because we will be running the social area of the collecting track again. And we've got some fun things going on there that we're going to be talking about here, as much as we are allowed to talk about it so far. Only 4 weeks to go, so hopefully there's not too many things we have to keep secret until the day of. We don't want to spring it on people. We want you to be able to plan and come by. Really, again, Celebration is swagtastic. It seems that there's not a lot of announcements about exclusives yet, but wow, is there going to be swag, including from us. We haven't done convention badges for a few shows, but for Celebration, we're going to be doing 5 badges celebrating starting the 5th decade of Star Wars collecting and celebrating a dozen years of Star Wars Action News. So we are really looking forward to getting out there and doing all that. We're also taking part in a swag giveaway in the collector social area. We've done this for the past few celebrations. There's a great fan site meet and greet where some sites come together. You get to meet the people behind the sites. Jedi Temple Archives, Jedi News, Jedi Business, This Week in Star Wars, and of course Star Wars Action News will all have slots in the collecting area. You can meet Chuck from Jedi Temple and Chris from Jedi Business, all the guys, and they're going to have a patch giveaway, but it's a puzzle patch as before. Not going to say what it is. Follow us on Facebook. Follow all these sites on Facebook and Twitter for the big reveal, but it's going to be a puzzle patch like we've done in years past. Again, really looking at the history of collecting here and some extra swag to give away. And we're going to have some buttons as well that we're giving away, just as Arnie and Marjorie, not as Star Wars Action News.
And Marjorie may have some extra special swag coming up, but I'm trying to decide how to do it.
And there's so much more swag that I want to get my hands on. Be sure to go to the Star Wars Celebration Collecting Track Facebook page, where everybody, all those creative people, are posting pictures of their swag, and you can find out who it is. You need to hunt down like you're a bounty hunter at this convention so you can get what they're given.
Well, the collecting area is a great place to trade swag, too. Some people do it certain hours. Some people will do it just when they see you. But remember, swag is a freebie. It's a stuff we all get. That's what swag stands for. So make friends, get some stuff, give stuff if you've got it. The whole point is to meet people and have fun.
While we're talking about the social area, there's a lot of fun stuff going on here. And if you're preparing for Celebration, come check us out. I mean, it's a great place just to meet other collectors, of course, to see some items on display, but some things that are going to be going on. We're going to have some author signings in there. The biggest thing that the social area has done every year, the Saturday night swap meet after hours in the collector's social area. Everybody brings their wares, and there's always some great foreign items, vintage items, prototypes, all kinds of stuff. I never get out of there without picking up a few items that I never knew I had to have.
Exactly. It's a lot of fun. And again, socialization. You're meeting new people. You're having fun.
And then, new this year, and a way to get one of those pieces of the puzzle patch, we're going to be doing video diaries of collecting memories. So if you come up, you can sign up on the sheet and just talk on camera about your collecting memories. And maybe it's a Midnight Madness you went to where you had to stand outside in a line that went in front of a bar and people were wondering why you were an adult waiting for toys. Or maybe it's a specific toy you got as a kid. Whatever your stories are, whatever your collectible is, we're going to be doing kind of a video diary log thing of that you'll be able to see yourself at future celebrations. And speaking of the collecting track, the panel schedule just went out, and while we're working in the social area, I've got to find time to get over there for a few of those talks, absolutely, including one from Daryl.
Yeah, that's really exciting.
And of course, those are going to be really hard to get into because once again, they're giving away those much coveted Star Tots. And this year, there's an Ewok, there's an Emperor, You know, they keep doing these start sets. I don't think they're going to be done until they've done all 92 vintage figures.
That's entirely possible.
And then just think about having that glaring hole in your collection if you don't go to the panel and get one.
Well, luckily at the end, the extras are usually given away. You just line up and you can pick over what's left. So that's always good.
If you're there at the close of the con on Sunday, which I know a lot of people plan their leaving early, and for those who stay till the very end, there is that benefit of possibly getting the Star Tots you missed or getting a extra one of that favorite character you have. I know I went nuts waiting in line myself because I needed that extra Greedo a few years back. Speaking of exclusives, I couldn't talk about this at Toy Fair. It's almost good that we didn't do a podcast since Toy Fair, because Marjorie would have had to put a bit in my mouth like I was a horse to stop me from talking about the Kotobukiya exclusives. I am so excited for those. They went up online for non-attendees. I went ahead, I ordered all 4 because I absolutely love them. Now I get that if you aren't into Astromechs and you're not all in on Kotobukiya's Artifacts Plus line, maybe a few more Astromechs isn't going to excite you. But the fact that one of them is R5D4, I mean, that's a major Astromech. That's not like that background droid, one of the 8 that was on the Queen's starship and got blown off the top in the opening scenes of Phantom Menace. This is R5D4.
Not like droid number 8 of a line of 20.
Yes.
Koto always does good work, and if you've ever thought, oh, I need to pick one of those up one day, definitely do. Their stuff is tremendous, it's high quality, it looks good, fabulous price point, and they're a really good company.
And their exclusives come with a coin that you only get with the exclusives, and they've been doing that for so many years now. I mean, the Barnes & Noble exclusives have them, the convention exclusives have them. All very cool, but my absolute favorite from this celebration is a 2-pack. It's from the Marvel Comics run, so these are not movie characters. You can get R2-X2, R4-M9, R5-D4, and these are giving some new Astromech heads there. Notice we got R4s and R5s, so they can get some more of those types out later. But for the 2-pack is 000 with BT1. I think these characters are a couple of the best things to come out of the modern Marvel comic run, from the Darth Vader, the Dr. Aphra comics, and the best thing is tying in with Marvel Comics. One of the variant artists doing the covers there is Adi Granov, who we've covered quite a bit on Marvelicious Toys because he worked with Kotobukiya. He designed their Avengers and their X-Men, give them the art for their Artifacts Plus statues there. Well, if you get this 000 BT1 set, you're going to get an exclusive. It's a little print. It fits in the box, so it's probably 8-inch square, but it's original Adi Granov art that you're going to get a print of only if you get that set. That's the first time Koto's doing that. I got to see the art. I am a huge fan of Adi. I get some of his original art from when he worked for West End Games. He was selling that really cheap at Comic-Con last year, and I got a roadie in and things, and he just does amazing covers. I pick up almost every Star Wars cover he does. This is an exciting thing, and it was my number 1 must-have of all announced Celebration exclusives. The fact that they use this really cool metallic bluish black paint on 000 too. The pictures on Facebook do not do that protocol droid justice. But mum's the word on exclusives, really. I mean...
Yeah, there's really not that much that we've heard yet. Now, we did find out about the Hasbro X-Wing Luke 6-inch figure, the Black Series on the vintage card.
The point here is really for carded collectors, and the X-Wing Luke was the nicest of these, though, because the exclusive, it's going to be foil carded. And, of course, X-Wing Luke was not in the original 12, so while they're doing the original 12 figures, this is a way to get a 13th figure in. I'm really hoping they do another one for San Diego, because 13's a number I just don't like. So if they do one for Comic-Con, then we'll have 14. But I don't know how they're going to sell this. Hasbro hasn't had a booth selling things at Celebration in a while, and this would be the only item they're selling unless they bring figures by the case to sell, which they've done in the past, where you could just buy a case of figures to get them, even though they're not exclusive. But will Hasbro have their own booth? Will these be just part of the Celebration store? I'm waiting for those details.
And really, from the Celebration store, the only thing we've had with any certainty is the pins again.
And some t-shirts. They've shown some
and
shirts.
some t-shirts. Yeah, there are some t-shirts. I know the pin trading was huge among a few people in Anaheim. I don't know if it's going to be as big here.
It is.
Is it? Okay.
Think about just how nuts they've gone with this. And Reed's been copying this because they also do the swag for Marvel at conventions.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing these pins for the Marvel booth at San Diego. This is a pretty big thing. And much like the Star Tots, it's just going to get a group of people absolutely frenzied about it.
But we have a slight difference here. Now, we've experienced in Orlando for 2 years, moved to Anaheim, and now we're back in Orlando. Anaheim had a little bit of a boost because it was under a mile away from Disneyland, and they were selling reduced price tickets to season pass holders. And if you're at Disneyland when it gets too hot, head on over to Star Wars Celebration because you got tickets for like $20.
True. Here, though, I mean, I don't know that they're doing any specials like that. There are some ties with Disney World in Orlando, but I just think everybody has that thing they love to collect. And that's what I love about collectors is you find your thing, you focus on it, you obsess over it, and you hoard it. And I mean that in the most loving way because we all look at each other and knowingly. But I was able to escape the pin trading craze last year thanks to Robert Horning, who was able to get me the one I needed, Greedo. He was really into the pin trading and went all out for that, and he was great to help me get the one I needed. I'm more character focused on these things, so I will look at them. I'll probably pick up a couple in the store. Once you get in that Celebration store, there's a certain frenzy that takes over.
Yeah, it's often like supermarket sweep. I mean, I and you and Andrew both watched people just like take armfuls of the pins and just sweep them into their shopping bag. So it's going to be a little different, maybe to be a little bit more controlled, and it's not going to be so frenzied.
I'm really happy. It was really expensive, and I'm hoping to get everything out of it, but I was able to get one of the VIP badges before they sold out, so I'm going to get to go into the store with just the other VIPs and not have a 2-hour wait in line. And this is good because working in the social area, sometimes I don't have time to stand in line for autographs. The first year we did the Celebration collecting area, I had a real problem because I had pre-purchased an Ian McDermott autograph ticket, and just the line to get to him was hours long, and I didn't have that time. So hopefully the VIP ticket is going to really help me out because of shopping like that and some autographs, which we'll talk about in a little bit. As far as exclusives, there's only 2 more that have been announced as of this recording. Del Rey Books bringing Thrawn into their new Star Wars canon with a Timothy Zahn novel. They're marketing this like I haven't seen a book for Star Wars marketed in years. They're doing 3 covers of this book. One is Barnes & Noble only. Then there's the regular cover. Then there will be a Celebration exclusive cover that you can only get there. So that is going to be, it's pretty cool. It's not, I was thinking, as cool as, remember Celebration 3? They had a leather-bound version of the Episode 3 novel.
Yeah, that was really awesome.
But it was $120, and I remember standing there, and I'm a Star Wars book collector, and I'm like, I want this book, I want this variant of it, but $120. And then we ended up seeing them at our local Barnes & Noble on discount for like $80 and things, sometimes $60. So part of me is like, well, I wish they were doing something really collectible, leather-bound or something, but I'm also not sure that that was successful for them with Revenge of the Sith. So, and then I don't do the Star Wars Hot Wheel cars except for, like the Greedo ones. I absolutely love the art on the cards. I just don't get into the cars themselves. But Mattel is going to have an exclusive Biggs Darklighter Hot Wheels car there. Funko is going to be announcing their exclusives possibly as soon as tomorrow. So keep an eye on them. And I wonder if that's going to be as crazy as it was at Emerald City and San Diego and New York.
It's probably not going to be that crazy because you're limiting the licenses and it's a much smaller convention than any of those conventions. And they weren't bad at Anaheim.
I remember Celebration Anaheim, they were bad, and I had to go pretty early one morning to stand in line, and you opened the collecting area while I went down there and got in line pretty fast because things were selling out quickly. The problem was you had to get there early because they'd sell out of the day's allotment. But when I made it my number one priority, I was able to get down there and get the pops. And of course, every celebration has exclusive art. And I love the Artist Alley of celebrations because I feel like as a Star Wars collector, this is the area where I've grown most between Celebration 3, which was right before we started the show, and now Celebration 8, I guess this would be. And Matt and John Stenstrud kind of introduced me to the area, and at first I was really daunted. There were so many prints, and my completist mindset just kind of screamed about how much there was in the way of this type of art. But now I absolutely love knowing some of the artists and seeing some of what they've done. And there's a few pieces here that I am absolutely gaga for.
I have to have the Matt Bush print. That is tremendous. It is, I can't even describe it. It's like a cartoony version of all kinds of different toys. And they're really neat the way it's arranged. I don't know, it's like a hodgepodge of everything. I mean, you see all different kinds of things on here. There's the old glasses.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Todd Carlton's collector book. You know how when Todd Carlton puts out his Star Wars collectible guides, and the front cover is this hodgepodge of all types of collectibles? It's like that style, but it's an artistic rendering instead of photographs. And the fact that there's action figures and a Star Wars guitar and all this various types of stuff, I can see why you like that. I do too.
I mean, look, you can even see like down towards the bottom right. There's Mighty Mugs.
Yep, and there's Funkos in there. There's C-3PO cereal, old Topps trading cards.
The Rebel Troop Transport.
Starlog magazine with that classic Boba Fett cover. This is celebrating 40 years of collecting. And
this is amazing. I have to have that. It's so cool. I look, BB-8's there. Unfortunately, the god-awful Chewbacca mask is on there, but hey, it's part of history, I suppose.
I am also a big fan of Jeff Carlisle's print, if you saw that one. It kind of has somewhat of a similar montage quality. It shows 4 little kids standing in front of like this wall covered in Star Wars posters that includes the McQuarrie art from Splinter of the Mind's Eye cover, the Phantom Menace poster. The 4 kids are cosplaying. So you've got they're Poe, Finn, Rey, and Kylo Ren, but the various history of posters behind them is so cool. There's also a lot of Leia art this year, which is people paying tribute to Carrie Fisher. The one I really liked, I've always liked his style of art, but Chris Trevis did one of Leia in front of Darth Vader. There's a couple Leia Vader pieces, but with the Tantive in the background and the rebel troops to the side with their hands above their head, and just the look on Leia's face there and capturing the Carrie Fisher attitude, I gotta have that piece.
You know, just going through them, I kind of like Desert Palace by Brian DeGuire. It's like that boxy style of art, and it looks like a vintage poster for Jabba's palace. They're hiring dancers, featuring the Max Rebo Band.
You're really into that kind of angular art. It's not Jake art, but it's very... They're both go with the 90-degree angle head type thing.
I would almost say frenetic.
Well...
It just seems to be not as calm, and that's kind of the art I'm drawn to. But then again, I also really liked Brian Miller's poster with the trench run. I think that one's really cool, too.
Yeah, I do like that poster. His is part of his series of those space posters. A lot of the posters you're seeing here are artists' continuing series they've done before. And I like it because you see ships. It seems like the artists are drawn to characters, and you don't get a lot of vehicle art.
No, I really like how vintage it looks. You know, it looks like it could be a book cover, or it could be a VCR cover or something. You know what I mean? Like a slip cover for that. It just has that good look, and I don't know, I really like it. It's got a lot of personality.
I'm also drawn to William O'Neill's piece. It's minimalist. It's called For Luck, and it has Luke and Leia swinging over the chasm. But it is just this, primarily, it's a painting of the chasm, and the figures are not very detailed. It's really looking at just the blue of it. it's almost a mood piece that I just like it because it's so different than any type of Star Wars art I've seen before.
Yeah, I really like it because the characters aren't the focus of it. It's really neat.
And I'm happy that there's everything here. There's a couple really nice Rogue One pieces. Joshua Smith's K2SO is one of a couple Rogue One pieces. Of course, there's some Force Awakens art, but there's also quite a bit of original trilogy. There's a Rebels piece. And if I squint, I think that Watchful Guardian by Chris D is kind of a prequel piece. It looks like a Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan's shortly after episode 3 while he's hanging out on Tatooine. It's the closest thing I can really find to prequel art. So definitely, if you see pieces you like, go to that artist's Facebook page. A lot of them are going up for pre-order, and then you can just pick them up at the con, or head down to the artist area. And if you like some of the artists, see if they're doing any sketches at the con. You can sometimes say, hey, I want you to draw me a Padme, or I want you to draw me a Jar Jar, and they'll tell you what they're charging. Not every artist does it, but quite a few do, and it's why I really love Artist Alley at conventions like C2E2 and New York Comic Con.
Thanks for watching this video. You can see full episodes of Star Wars Action News with more collecting news and reviews at swactionnews.com. We also have thousands of toy and collectible photos in our photo gallery. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. May the pegs be stocked and the Force be with you.